Hello Stampers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to show you the last card that I made with the Garden Meadow stamp set, which is an online exclusive, and the gorgeous designer series paper, which is oh so pretty. Lots of fun scenes in this paper, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So this one doesn't really use that much. It is a Funfold, so it opens up, and I don't know if you call that a pocket fold or what. I don't know. I'll probably go online and try to figure out what that's called. So let's get started. For my paper base, I used shaded spruce. And this is, not even sure what it is. It is, okay, 7 3/4. It's 7 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then you score it at 5 1/2. A little hard to see, but there, right like that. All right, and then I took a little strip. It's a 1-inch strip by 4 1/4, and I took a little strip. Wow, can't find it, of the glimmer paper. There it is. I think it's like a 1/4 inch. Yeah, if that. Just a little strip for the end. Oh wow, that's. Here we go. Get in my box and get another one out because this one is too short. And then I took a square and I'm going to cut out this heart, and I'm going to cut out these little frames. And this time, rather than using the coordinating die set, which I really like with the Garden Meadow dies, I actually used the Radiating Stitches dies, which is also an online exclusive. If you haven't checked out the online exclusives, you really should. So let me show you how I cut these out first, and then we'll stamp and assemble the card. So I'm going to bring in my cutting machine. Maybe this way is easier. And let me zoom out a little bit. Always go the wrong way. Why is that? I don't know. Okay, let's see if I can get that in there a little bit better. And I have 2 scraps of paper. And I took the smallest frame from the Radiating Stitches dies. Cut that out. I should have cut one out in advance. Sorry, so I have to cut them both out. And you'll just have to be patient or fast forward it. I never know if people want to see me actually cutting these out, but it's my experience. Here's that one, that my stamp club ladies, even though they have their own machines, they always seem to forget how to use the different layers. So if you're like that, I try to include how to do that. And so I guess I should explain then. You're going to use the 1 plate, the 2 plate, and the 2 clear plates to cut these dies out. So now I have 2 of these frames, and I'm going to cut a heart out of the glitter or glimmer paper. This is an online exclusive, and I can pre-order now for the next online exclusive, and they have 3 new colors of glimmer paper. I just love this paper. It just makes for such a pretty accent, and it's really available, you know, as supplies last. So you want to grab it quick. So there's the heart. Sort of hard to see the little stitching. I think you can see it there. But I always try to get the different colors of glimmer paper because they're not usually in for all that long. But I say that, but the Radiating Stitches dies is an online exclusive. It's been around for almost a year now. So hugely popular and really versatile. So if you don't have this, you really should get it. Alrighty, so I also took, so each of these sheets of designer series paper are 6 by 6 and really pretty frames. But this one was just flowers. It wasn't that one. It was Oh, like this. And it was this. And I just cut strips of the flowers. I think this is 1 inch. It is a 1 inch strip. And then I took this little quarter sheet of a different sheet of paper, and I'm going to quarter. When I say quarter, I mean that is 3 inches by 3 inches, so a quarter of the 6 by 6. And I wanted to get that corner there for my card. So I'm just lining this 3 by 3 inch square up in the grooves of my cutter, and there, get a perfect cut. So now it's a triangle with 2 3-inch sides, and the hypotenuse is who knows what it is. Back in the day I could have told you, but yeah, well, sorry. All right. I was kind of a math nerd, what can I say? All right, so I want to go ahead and I'll go ahead and start to, I'm going to glue it a little, but then I'll work on stamping. So probably should stamped first and then glued it all together, but sometimes if I don't start gluing my stuff on, I lose them, and then, you know, you're crawling around the floor trying to find your strip of paper that you know you cut, but you can't find it. So sometimes it's better just to get it gluing, and then you don't lose it, right? In fact, one of my stamp club ladies cut out some element yesterday, some card. Oh, I know. She cut out a bird out of the designer series paper, the bird paper for celebration, and dropped it. And it was like literally under, I could barely get it. It was like under the leg of my table. I can't even believe I saw it. So, yeah, there you go. Now, this corner, you probably want to use this kind of tape. I'm trying to think what it's called. Tear and tape. I wanted to say sticky strip. So I like using the tear and tape for this sort of thing because you want that pocket to be open. So you don't want to just put glue on that whole triangle. And so that's why I use tear and tape there. And you could use snail, but the thing is that this pocket is going to get pulled up, you know, to pull this out. And so you want to use like the strongest adhesive you can use. Like back in the day, Stampin' Up! Sold sticky strip. So if you have any of that hanging around, they're little red, they're on red rolls. Red paper, I guess they're sort of like this, but smaller. That's even probably better for this, but they don't sell it anymore. And I have some somewhere, but my tear and tape's right here because Stampin' Up! Still sells it. All right, so there's tape there, and then this pocket is open. And we can put the heart there, but let's go ahead and back up and stamp these 2 little panels. And I wanted to use the wheelbarrow, which is oh so cute. And let me find my memento again. And we will stamp the wheelbarrow. Now, when I have a big stamp set like this, I like to stamp it upside down like you just saw me do. All right, and oh, darn, look at that. I cut out the wrong size. Well, hold on. Yeah, I am just kind of having problems tonight. You ever have one of those days? I am going to quickly cut out 2 more of those. I have been doing a lot of starting and stopping on my videos today. But I am not going to restart this one. I am just going to recut this. And this is the real world. And if I would have my act together, I would have already cut some extras out and said, oh, look at that. I already had some cut out. But, yep, I didn't do that. So you just have to bear with me for one more minute while I quickly cut out the right size this time. You're probably sitting there watching this video going, oh my gosh. Well, you know, sorry. Hopefully this make you feel better. Even I watch my granddaughters. They are almost 4 and almost 2. Such a fun age. So cute. And the 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old Blair, she's like so forgetful. It just makes me laugh. Like, like you're too young for that. But so, you know, we don't have to blame it on old age. It's just what it is. All right, there we go. So you can feel better about yourself because you're seeing that this demonstrator, I've been a demonstrator for over 20 years, still makes mistakes. So if you make mistakes too, you can feel good about yourself. All right, there we go. And I like to give it a good firm push to get all the ink off of the stamp. And then inside, oh, I did that little flower inside. And, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, of course I can't find it. All right, I put that in the bottom right. Now this one is smaller, so I'm just tapping it straight down. And the nice thing about these clear stamps is that you can position them really nicely. So I thought this little hello, isn't that so cute? There we go. Now I can color it, and I chose to use my blends because they're so pretty, really. And I use a dark berry burst. I'm going to use a fine point for that. And this is really, I just love coloring with blends. If you don't have them, you should think about getting them. For one thing, the colors are absolutely vibrant. Aren't they pretty? Bright and yet a little bit translucent. You can still see the black through it, and so I do like that. And also, even if you're not, you know, a real artist like my sister who can paint, she doesn't need stamps. She can just paint, you know? And she paints beautiful scenes. And her specialty, really, though, I think, is flowers. She's really good at painting flowers. And in fact, she's promised to give me a flower painting, but I haven't seen it yet. So if you're watching my video, Jill, don't forget about that. All right, so that was the dark berry burst. And then I took the light orchid oasis, and I'm also using the fine tip on that one. Although you could probably use a brush tip, but I'm going to use a brush tip because these are kind of not precise. I don't know, big sort of gloppy looking flowers. They're not gloppy, but I'm just saying you don't have to be as precise as you were with the berry burst, the smaller flowers. Just kind of coloring a large area. And then I'm going to flip my pen around and get in close better. Fill in all the background color here with the fine tip. Of course, it's even more fun when you shade with the blends, but this sort of card doesn't really lend itself to that. So I'm just going to do one color. But the blends do come in 2 colors, a light and a dark. And so you can make some really gorgeous shading. I'm just not doing it on this particular card. Oh, actually, I will do it on the wheelbarrow itself, so you'll see what I'm talking about there. And I see I missed a flower, so I want to go back and get it. There we go. And on this card, I used, whoopsie, you know what? I should do this at the same time. Which, you know, as I'm coloring this, I realized, so this is the dark berry burst. I think I used the light there, but I grabbed the dark, so we're going to use, so you can see the difference now between the dark berry burst and the light berry burst, and decide which one you like better. So I don't know about you, but I am so ready for spring. We had so much snow here in January. It's just ridiculous. And it was like below zero. And I have a dog. There's a beautiful golden retriever, but I had to walk her in that snow and cold temperatures. It was so awful. And she's the kind of dog you can't just like let her in the backyard on a lead, because she won't do anything. And if she does, she'll just eat the bushes or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people can let their dogs out on leads. My dog would never go for that, unfortunately. So, um, yeah, okay. Looks like I did the basket in this bronze marker. So I will do that next. So yeah, I had to walk this dog. I put I put yoga pants on and then my jeans on top and my snow boots, and I had a face mask, and this went on for a couple of weeks. So cold here. So we're finally in, I don't know, the mid 30s here, lows in the mid 30s, and warming up a little more during the daytime is so much more comfortable. But I can't wait for summer or spring even. And I love plants. I'm a plant girl. So, you know, I used the light shaded spruce on this card, but I also used the light berry burst. So I think I'm going to use the dark shaded spruce because it will kind of match better with the darker flower. So that's what I'm going to do. This one will just look slightly different, and you can decide which one you like better. And who said all your cards had to look alike anyway? That's the funny thing. My stamp club, they make their cards and they're like, oh, it doesn't look like yours. And you know what? It doesn't have to look like mine. And really, nobody's going to see your card. Nobody's going to see my card. They're only going to see your card, and they're going to love it because you made it with love. So that'll be the case here. No one's going to see the two side by side except for you, my faithful followers, which I really appreciate you spending time with me, watching my videos. And if you like it, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave me a nice comment. That's like always makes my day. Isn't it nice when someone leaves you a nice comment or says something kind to you, and it can just put a smile on your face all day long? Kind of makes it worthwhile. So I would like that if you left me a kind comment. It'd be very sweet. There we go. Okay. And to do the tire, I just used a black marker. I did, you know, I have every single color of stamping blends, except I have discovered today that I don't have two colors. I don't have the black, so I just ordered it today. And wow, this black marker is having problems. All right, here's my little trick. Let's see if I can find another one. I think that this is brown. It is. All right, so when all else fails, you can use a Sharpie. Da, da, da. And that's what I'm going to use for the tire. I have another black marker around here somewhere, but I think I put it in my box for Stamp Club yesterday. I probably should throw this other one away, so I stopped grabbing it. Now, you should never use these alcohol markers on your stamps. themselves, it will, for one thing, it'll stain them, and you won't be able to stamp with it anyway because it just dries so quickly. And also it breaks down the ink. It breaks down the rubber on your image. So I'm trying to see, somebody did that on, yeah, one in my class. Look at that. They took the stamping blends to my stamp, and I was actually not too happy about that. But things happen, I guess. So anyway, don't do that. She said, well, you should have a sign here. Well, I thought everybody knew that, but apparently they don't. So I'll pass on to you that you don't do that. It'll ruin your stamps, and it'll also stain them. And now, oh, I should tell you, I'm using light smoky slate. So it's not very light, but you know, it is a gray color, so. For that, and then I used the dark smoky slate for the rim here, which it's almost black. But, and the first card that I made, I used the dark smoky slate around the tire, but it was not dark enough. So that's why I used a black marker instead. And so using the darker color here kind of gives it a little dimension or two-tone. And you could even do a little shading if you want. And I'll show you how to soften that shading after I finish this rim here. I guess it's called a rim or whatever it is called. So you don't have just like that glob of color. You can take your lighter color again, and if you just go over it, you can kind of drag the color and it'll blend it in. And it does take the blends just a minute or two to dry. Alrighty, so yeah, I guess the longest thing on this card is just the coloring. But I think that it's relaxing, so that's not so bad, is it? And I'm going to put this over, let's see, about an inch in. I'm going to go ahead and use glue on this one. Since, oh, there's my Stampin' Seal. I should have used my Stampin' Seal. But I didn't see it, but now I do, but oh well. And let's see if we can get on here. So I suppose this card is a little more involved. I just want to center it in the middle. There we go. And then the other side, which actually, you know, I should have put this on first now that I think about it. This is going to be hard to line up. I'm going to use seal on this one. Pardon my arm in the video. It'll work a little bit better. So I'm just putting it in the four corners and the center. You don't have to use a ton of it. And what I should have done before I glued this down was then just set this like this. Let's see if I can do this. Set it there and then glue it down like that. There we go. And now I'm just going to tuck it under. Phew. Okay, I did it. I was a little bit wiggly. Shoot. All right, I did not do it. Let's pull it back up. That's why I use the seal, because it's a little bit forgiving. Oh my word. Let's try that again. Oh, it's one of those days, ladies and men, if there's any men out there watching me. Most of my customers are women. So I do get the occasional husband who will buy his wife a gift, which I think is so sweet, really. There we go. I got it. I did it. Yay. It's up a little high there. Well, you know, that's going to have to do. And my last thing is to put the heart on, which, where did that thing go? I can't even find it. See, this is why you glue stuff down as you go, because then you lose things, or I lose things. There should be a heart. Oh, it is on the floor. I told you. It's so good my dog isn't down here, because she would eat that in a country second. My crazy dog. And I think I will use the sticky strip on that. Now, the trick to this is you just, well, you want to tuck this in here, first of all, and then put your heart on. So you don't want to put it taped down here. You just want it up here on the top. And once again, I want a little bit better adhesive, which is why I'm using the sticky strip. And I think I will just take my snips, which, oh, there are the Stampin' Up! Ones. These are sharper, these are better. There we go. And there's one last thing I want to do to this card, and that's to put enamel effects on there. I really like enamel effects. It makes really nice little decorations, but in this case, it's going to make a wheel rim for my card. So that's what I did there. So you want to do it last, so you don't want to touch it. This one kind of got goobied up. So if you do it when you're done, then you can just let it sit there and dry. Does take a while. Like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. So depending on how thick you put it on, of course. But it kind of gives it a little bit of a dimension, which is nice. I miss, Stampin' Up! Used to sell something called Crystal Effects, which was a clear, it was kind of like a clear crystal effects, I get clear enamel effects. But, and it looked really pretty on tires, because it made them just look like you put Armor All on them or something. My husband used to put Armor All on our tires when we were younger and had these really nice cars, and now that we're older, we don't really care anymore like we used to when we were younger. Spend our money on more important things, like our kids, our grandkids. So there, I'm going to let that dry, and it'll kind of gives it a metallic looking look. And I'm just kind of taking the tip of this and just sort of moving it around. And then you can just like swipe the tip off with your hand. And that is my card for today. Not a lot of room to write on this. You could write right there. I guess there's enough room. If you wanted more space, you could actually put a panel on the back. I didn't do that on this card, but you could do that. So thanks again for watching this video series. My last one in the Garden Meadow, which is an online exclusive, and we'll see you next time.